Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. I am your host, Cooley. Tonight is open panel debate night and also reaction night. Let's go. And y'all see the suit too, man. Listen, new studio, new podcast by the spirit, not by the letter. Bro, we can go verse for verse all day long. Doing new things. Men are okay with understanding the reality that we are in competition with one another. But you ladies think that you're special. You are in comfort. Men are men of their word. So here's my word. I'll fly you out here and we can do it in person. And after that, we could box. I'm about my business. So remember I said, when I ask you these questions, I will dismantle your entire argument. That's the end of the debate, my dog.
I'm 39, but I don't look your typical 39.
Belly.
Yeah.
You look 39. It's okay though. That man isn't intimidated by a woman like you. He's annoyed by a woman like you. Because a man doesn't want to date another man. He wants to date a woman. All right, ladies and gents, welcome back to No Fugazi Podcast. Let's get the business out of the way first. We got a few links in the YouTube description. The first link is going to be for to join the stream. So if you want to go ahead and join the stream and join Open Panel Debate Night, click the first link in the YouTube description or click the link that's pinned in the YouTube comments, and we will bring you on up accordingly. How we run Open Panel Debate Night, once again, here's the rules. The rules is very simple. Anyone can come up. I don't discriminate, right? You can debate me about any of the clips you've seen, any of the things that I've said. If you know my worldview to a degree, you can debate me. So if you're a feminist, obviously I'm anti-feminism. If you are an atheist, obviously I'm anti-atheist. If you are, a Black Hebrew Israelite, obviously I'm, the opposite of that. So a lot of people, we've been working, man. So a lot of people know my worldview to an extent. And if you don't, you can always come up and maybe ask a question or two. I'll grant it, and then we can have the debate. But anyways, so it's open debate night and reaction night. So we're going to be reacting to a few things tonight. The first thing we're going to get into is J-Lo. Man, that's about all I got to say with that, because we got to get into it. Then we're going to get into, we got a clip that the members sent me in regards to Nick Fuentes, and he was being interviewed by Dave Smith. So we're going to get into a little bit of that interview as well. We're going to unpack some things. I'm going to give you guys my perspective. Then also, you see the title of the video. It's Black Fatigue is a PSYOP. We're going to get into that a little bit as well, too. And I'm going to give you guys my perspective and what I unpacked on that. And, we could have a debate on all of these things. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's going to be the first link in the YouTube description. Come on up. The next link in the YouTube description is going to be for the members. So if you like the podcast, you want to continue to support the show, you can do so by becoming a member. We got 3 tiers. First tier is Gang. Second tier is Hitman. Third tier is Mob Ties. You join any of those tiers and you are welcome to the cookout, man. Then the next link in the YouTube description is going to be for one-on-one consultations. If you want to speak with me privately in regards to dating and relationships and media and marketing, hit me up. I'm giving, not free game, but, it's game for a good price. It'll definitely help your YouTube channel grow or your business grow, or if you're trying to sell a product, whatever it may be, I got the tools. Then the next link in the YouTube description is going to be for the Clips channel. We post clips on there daily. So if you don't have time to watch the full 2-hour to 8-hour podcast sometimes, because I'll be streaming for a while now, I'm basically a streamer. Dang, that's crazy. I'm basically a streamer, man. That's crazy. But anyways, it is what it is. You can go ahead and, subscribe over to the Clips channel where we post clips to 10 minutes to 30 minutes long. We do post clips on the main channel as well, but if you just want to see all the clips as they're posting, go on over to the Clips channel and subscribe. Click the bell icon so you're notified of when something is posted. Then all of the other links is going to be for the social media platforms that we have. So we got the X, the TikTok, the Facebook, the Instagram. So if you want to get in contact with me or anyone from my team, hit us up. Now, I'm a little bit under the weather, so Yeah, because it's only children and women get sick. Men, we just get under the weather a little bit. You know what I mean? Got a little tang in the throat. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? Pause. That was wild, bro. That was wild. But yeah, a little bit under the weather. So I'll, maybe stream for about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. If we get a lot of people in here for open panel debate night, I'll extend it out and, maybe open up the panel to other people to come on and, utilize their debating skills as well. Because I'll be giving the floor to a lot of people, man. A lot of people come up on my stream and they're able to, get their sparring sessions in. So, without further ado, let's get into the first clip for tonight. This is going to be a clip that we're going to be reacting to that one of the members sent me. Also, which is one of the perks that you get if you become a member, I react to the clips that you want me to react to, man. I'm not just really reacting to the things that I want to react to. This is the things that y'all asked for, right? So let's get into the first one and see what we got here. All right, so if we read this here, it says, Jennifer Lopez believes she's never truly been loved. It's not that I'm not lovable. They're not capable. I didn't love myself. So as you can see, just from the clip of this quote, she's running from accountability. So let's go ahead and react to this first part here. Let's bring it back. Hold up.
Think you've truly been loved?
No.
No. And do you think you really have experienced loving someone?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
And when you can't get that love back?
What I learned, it's not that I'm not lovable. It's that they're not capable.
They can't love.
They don't have it in them. They need to appreciate the little person inside of them.
They have little
need to love
give.
them. Yeah.
You've been in relationships with
And they
people.
gave me what they had.
Right, but
They
it's not
gave me
enough.
all of it. Every time.
But it's this much. It's
All
a
the
little bit.
rings, all the things I could ever want.
Right.
They tried to give me the houses, the rings, the marriage, all of it. But
They didn't love you
they didn't,
and didn't know you.
and I didn't love myself.
Do you think you've truly been loved?
And, the crazy thing is you get Howard Stern. He's not pressing her on the things that she said. It's an easy interview. He's going along to get along like they didn't love you. And maybe this is how, Howard Stern truly feels, just to take the woman's side. But I don't know, man. A lot of these white knights, they be lying, bro. They be lying. But so let's unpack this a little bit. And we're going to play it again because it's a short clip, and then I'm going to stop it and give you guys my perspective.
No.
No. And do you think you really have experienced loving someone?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
And when you can't get that love back?
Okay, so let's keep in mind. Here's the people she's been in love with. Howard Stern asked her a simple question, and she says that it's not that I'm not lovable. They're not capable of loving me. So out of all of these marriages, out of all of these men she's been with, instead of taking accountability, she's blaming it on the man. Like, oh, I loved every guy that I married. But you know what? They didn't love me. And ironically enough, she initiated all of the divorces. So it doesn't even make any sense. Because I would say that, well, if the man didn't love you, well, he would be the one that's initiating the divorce. But obviously, you didn't love those men. This is why you initiated all of these divorces. And I think, what is it, like 10 marriages? Who knows? Let's go through it. So here's J-Lo and her first husband. This is in 1997 to 1998. So this was a 1-year marriage. This is crazy. Now, let's do a quick little dive on J-Lo. If anyone knows how J-Lo started before she was with Puff Daddy and all of that stuff, J-Lo started as a dancer on Living Color. Now, if anyone doesn't know what Living Color is, that's a TV show that was produced by the Wayans brothers. So let me go ahead and show you guys something real quick. It's called In Living Color. I'm going to share this with you. Let's stop sharing this. And let's share this one. Going to do a little quick deep dive on this. Right? So, you got J-Lo. All right, let's put this over here. All right, so J-Lo was on this show, In Living Color. You know, you got, all the Wayne brothers was in here. You got this funny guy here, Jim Carrey, Damon Wayans, Keenan Ivory Wayans, Tommy Davidson, Kim Wayans. So let me go ahead and type in Living Color Jennifer Lopez. Right? So let's see here. Let's go to images. So this is where she started. This was her first gig that got her into everything. This right here, what you're seeing, that was J-Lo back in the day. Now, mind you, In Living Color, Damon Wayans, Marlon Wayans. Well, Marlon was mad young, but all of the Wayne brothers, listen, it's highly unlikely that she wasn't getting her cheeks clapped by one of the Wayne brothers. Right? We just got to keep it funky here, right? She was one of the dancers and she was one of the baddest dancers. Someone was probably clapping that off screen, right? Now, we're going to make all of this make sense because before she was with this guy, let me go ahead and share the screen back again. Before she married this individual, she was already, you know what I mean? Putting herself in certain positions, certain situations to get a position, working for In Living Color, being a dancer. And then after just being a dancer on a TV show, her career took off. Now, who's the next guy? Well, the next guy is Diddy, right? Diddy dated you. Now, we all know if Diddy dated you, right? He probably had other men smashing you because he liked to watch. He liked to watch. He like, yeah, let me sit back and, with the baby oil. Let me throw the baby oil on myself and let me watch my woman get smashed. This nigga is evil. He's a demon in human flesh form. So he's a perverted individual. You don't think that he perverted her? Or was she already perverted? Or wait a second, did J-Lo pervert Diddy? Who knows? It's up for odds, right? It's up for grabs. We don't really know. But I say all of that to say that we're going to go through her dating history. And once again, we don't know the guys that she wasn't with. These is the guys that she's been with in public relationships with and or been married. All right, here's the next guy. Chris Judd, she married this guy in 2001 to 2002. 1 year marriage? What was this? 1 year marriage? Or was this a public relationship? Public relationship or marriage? One of the two. But it was only 1 year. So you love this guy, but he didn't love you? You loved Diddy, but Diddy didn't love you? The other guy, you loved him, but he didn't love you? Let's keep going. The list goes on. We got a whole lot more. Oh, and then everyone knows Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck was clapping them cheeks back in 2002 to 2004. And this is when they were engaged. So engaged for 2 years, that's who she went to next. And everybody knows Ben Affleck is a little weird. Homie is weird, bro. It is what it is. Maybe he got an alcohol problem. I don't know what goes on in Hollywood, but anytime I see him off of the movie screen, I think he does a great job acting. But anytime I see him not on a movie and he's like being interviewed, he's very jittery, like, so yeah, and yeah. And he's like trying hard. He has poor social skills. It's kind of weird. I don't know. But anyways, she was with Ben. Then right after Ben, she was with Mark Anthony. Everybody remember this relationship because this was a long one. She was with him for 10 years, 2004 to 2014. We thought that they was solid, locked down. They wasn't going anywhere. But somehow, it wasn't her fault. He never loved her. So that's who she's blaming it on. Again, the man, she's never taken accountability. So you've been in all of these. Now, let me think. These men haven't even married as many women as you've married men, but for some odd reason, they're the problem. I think that you're the problem since you're, hopping from cock to cock and getting smashed and having these different experiences with all of these men, but somehow you keep divorcing them because you're unhappy. You know what? It's hard to satisfy you. And anyone over here on this side of the internet, they know that she's suffering from whole brain. She got whole brain, meaning that she was promiscuous too much in her past, and now it's hard for her to feel satisfied. This is why in her mental, she thinks that they never loved them. They never loved her because it's hard to satisfy her. Obviously, if it's hard for you to feel satisfied, you're going to think like, well, it isn't like, I don't think it's me. Like it must be this person. Think about if you're eating and you never get full. You like, man, maybe this food don't got enough calories until you self-reflect and it's like, well, maybe my metabolism is going real fast and I'm digesting it fast and I'm always hungry again. I don't know. I can never truly feel satisfied. Right? So that's what she's suffering from. She can never get a full belly. She can never get full. So she's always on a search for it. Let's get to the next guy. All right, I don't even know who this guy. I think this was a dancer. But Casper Smart dated her in 2011 to 2016. So you got a good 5 years right there with some dancer dude. You know what I mean? So you got to think about it. She's going from rich people, very rich, like Mark Anthony. I think, what was he, a billionaire or almost a billionaire? And then she's like, you know what? I'm going to just date this dude that's like, making minimum wage. Or maybe he wasn't making minimum wage, but maybe he making like $200,000 a year. But even like $500,000 a year to J-Lo is nothing compared to the guys that she dated before, right? So she's all over the place. She doesn't know what she wants. She's trying to figure out her life in 2011 and 2016. But right after this, man, Alex Rodriguez, he was hitting him out the park. So she was engaged to him from 2017 to 2021. She broke off the engagement. She wasn't with it, right? Or were they actually even married? No, I think they were just engaged. Yeah. So, wait. He couldn't love you either? Alex Rodriguez couldn't love you? He was incapable, like you said, of loving you, but you loved him? J-Lo, I think something's wrong with you. You're psychotic. Let's keep going. The list goes on, chat. It goes on. And then back with Ben Affleck, and this is where they got married. And then she got back with Ben Affleck. They were married from 2021. Now think about how quick this was. She got out of the relationship with Alex Rodriguez in 2021. And then she went back to one of her exes in the same year and married him in 2021. Think about how psychotic you have to be in your mental state where you're truly never satisfied. You're truly living in this delusion and you're always seeking out validation and always searching for some love or searching for, who knows what she's searching for? Just more demons, maybe. I don't know. But it's pretty crazy, right? So, she was with Ben, broke up with Ben, let 3 other dudes smash, then, and probably more than that. This is only the 3 that we know about. So let's just say she let 30 niggas smash, because if it's 3, you got to multiply it by 10 just because. Like, if we know 3, you always got to give it 10. So 30 over here in Cooley's book. And then she got back with Ben. And Ben is crazy because imagine you with a chick, right? And, y'all break up. And she breaks up with you. Like, y'all engage, but she breaks off the engagement. She gets married to another man, dates another man, gets engaged to another man, and then all of a sudden, you take her back Bro, it was multiple penises inside her after. Well, one already before is multiple penises. Okay, cool. You excited. You decided to accept that. Whatever, right? But then after you, she get more penises in her. It's like, ugh, this is like, how can, okay, I'll be honest. Ben didn't love her. I don't know how you can love someone after that. Like, how can you love someone after she breaks up the engagement, then she gets smashed by multiple people, marries another man? Like, listen, before she didn't even want to get engaged to you. But then after you, she got engaged to someone else and married the man. So that means that you wasn't worthy enough, Ben. So Ben is crazy in his mind. He's definitely crazy. So yeah, and then guess what? She's single again. So she's single again in 2025. Who knows the next guy she would be with? But if you psychoanalyze this and you just look at her dating life that is public on the internet, right? You know, you'll have to come to the conclusion that this is a woman that cannot take accountability. And she's always looking to blame the man. She's always looking for a way out to escape her reality, to build a coping mechanism where she feels comfortable in so she can sleep at night, because she's the true demon. But she never wants to like look in the mirror and face herself, that true demon. So she creates this coping thing to blame the guy, to escape accountability. So at least she can sleep at night, right? We can tell she's still sleeping at night because what? Shorty about 60 and still looking halfway decent. She's still got all of her faculties, beauty faculties there, right? The faculties up here, she don't got those. Those been going. All right, so that's the J-Lo thing. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Send some super chats and let me know what you guys think about J-Lo, man. Who's the next guy she gonna be with? Listen, I wouldn't be surprised where after Diddy come out in them 4 years, she may get back with Diddy. Look, she may spin the block like, you know what? Forget, nope. I want this guy. I want you again. Listen, man, I wouldn't be surprised if she spent the block and went back to Diddy. But I got more news on this. So it gets a little deeper, chat. It gets a little deeper. Thought it was over? No, it ain't over. One of her exes actually came out and made a comment on this and said that she was lying. So let's get some information on this. Stop sharing that. And let's share this other clip here. All right. So what we're looking at here is this guy. This is the guy. So it says one of Jennifer Lopez's ex-husbands goes off on her for trying to blame the men for not loving her during their relationship. You, the one who couldn't keep it in your pants. You are the problem. Oh, so this little El Rico here, Rico Suave, he came out and he's saying that, no, he loved J-Lo, but J-Lo was the one that cheated on him. Now, if you look at the, where it's at here, if you look at the timeline of this, so J-Lo was with this guy, right? And the reason why, like she said that she was cheating, she couldn't keep it in her pants, and, you know, she was out there being promiscuous, because right after this guy, she went to Diddy. So my prediction is, because, you know, Diddy famous for it anyway, while she was married to him, Diddy was probably already clapping cheeks and running trains on her at them Diddy parties with mad baby oil. You know what I mean? And bringing in the male escorts at a time like you. And everybody running in there like, oh, a piece of J-Lo? Diddy, you ain't got to pay me nothing. We going to do this for free. And beating it down. That's what I believe was happening. Now let's go back, right? Let's go back to what homie was saying. So here's some more stuff. He says, stop putting us down. Stop putting me down with your victim card. The problem is not us, not me. The problem is you. You the one who couldn't keep it in your pants. You have been, and mind you, he posted all of this on his Instagram. So he took time out of his day after this video came out on Howard Stern. He was like, you know what? I had enough of this. I'm about to speak on it. So this is what he's saying. He says, you have been loved a few times. You've been married 4 times and have had countless relationships in between. Look, man, he confirming it for me. Listen, Cooley only knows facts. So what's the word? What women like to say, intuition, right? No, Cooley's intuition when it comes to dating and relationships and knowing if these chicks are slores is on point. Because the ex-boyfriend is confirming. He says, you've been married 4 times, okay, and have had countless relationships in between. You have had good relationships. Me, for example, okay, so he's saying that he was a good guy. Now imagine, right, that you're so scarred as an individual, you should never want to be that guy. Never want to be that guy. Because, bro, what, like 35 years passed? At least 35 years passed, or at least 30 years passed from when they were together, and he still can't get over her. Like, I mean, if a chick was lying on the internet or something like that, I'd be like, man, I ain't saying, like, what I got to talk about that for? I don't know, comment. I don't care about that chick, right? But homie was scarred. This is how you could tell he was truly deep in love with her. And he's just like being emotional like a woman and, gossiping, which is not manly. But let's continue on. He has more to say. So it's actually, thank you. It's good for entertainment, you know? He throwing out all the tea. He says, I was involved with you. I even moved out of state, leaving my job, my family, and my friends behind to support you. Now, once again, this is why she divorced him. If you know anything as a man in masculinity, the woman moves for you. The woman leaves her job for you. You don't just drop your entire life and follow the woman. No, like as a man, why would you drop your entire life and like be, chasing a woman around? How are you ever going to lead the relationship if you are basically under her butt 24/7? Like, think about it. You left your job. So what is you doing? Now, J-Lo just working. Now, mind you, J-Lo rich. I know chat, y'all like Cooley, bro. She in movies, she making bread, like she rich, but not really. Because at the time he was dating her, this before she was even rich, right? This before she was with Diddy. So she probably had, you know what I mean, doing a little couple shows. I don't even think she was in a movie yet, but maybe if she was in a movie, she probably had, I say, maybe 100,000 in the bank account, maybe 250,000 in her bank account at least, and maybe a crib and 2 nice cars. But that's not enough to like leave. And personally, I don't care if the chick had $1 billion. You don't leave and stop what you're doing as a man and follow behind a woman. That's a recipe for disaster. It's almost a 100% guarantee, that she will grow resentment and leave you for another man, for a man that has signs of being capable to lead her, because all women deep down inside, even if they were indoctrinated with feminism, they still want a leader. But let's continue on. He says, okay, so he moved out, to support you and care for you. And look at the words he's using, care for you. Like, come on, bro. It's gay. Matter of fact, I'm happy she left you and she went to Bad Boy Entertainment and got that baby oil you sprayed on her, because you was just not that guy. Then he says, I'm an amazing, loving... I don't even know if I can read this. This is gay reading it because I know it's coming from a man. I'm an amazing, loving person, great human being. Men don't speak like this, bro. Honest, faithful to you, never lied, never misbehaved, never cheated on you. I was too good for you. I'm too good of a man for you. Yeah, man. Listen, man, you was too good of a man. That's why she left you and she went to Bad Boys. Literally. Because she went with Diddy, which he owns Bad Boy Records. So she was like, I'm tired of this good boy. Let me go ahead and get me a bad boy because this nigga is a simp. Then he says, but you chose fame and fortune moving apart of our relationship. Okay, you know, she chose that. She did choose fame and fortune. You decided to lie, to cheat on me, and even though I stayed, it gets worse. He's a full beta. Homie got cheated. He's admitting this. Like, chat, there's one thing you do as a man. Like, you don't really admit when you cried, like the last time you cried. Even if you did cry last night, you just keep certain things to yourself, right? And if you did get cheated on, never truly admit that. Like, be like, you know what I mean? Like, chicks come and go. Like, you never be like, yeah, bro, she cheated on me. Like, bro, you too vulnerable right now, man. It's feminine nature. Ugh. It's disgusting. I don't want to read no more, but it's reaction night, so I got y'all, chat. Okay, here we go. I even tried to keep the marriage going and alive. Maybe this dude, he been messing up on a lot of his spelling and using the wrong words. He may not know English too good. Who knows? He says, you even begged me to stay because at the time you didn't want bad press, caring more about you. You know, nah, man. She just, you were something comfortable. That's why she begged you to stay, because you was the good guy, right? When the woman is the devil and she's evil, she do want to keep a little good guy around, like somewhere, you know, just for good karma. Like, okay, I'm with a bad boy and this is what I truly want. Like all of these desires is moving me towards this way. I don't really desire you like that, but you're good. So for moral purposes, I'll keep you around. So, little homie, nah, she ain't like you like that, bro. Tell the truth for once. Let people know that you that you are the problem. You should be embarrassed, ashamed of yourself. All right, man. He been whining too much. And this was the first one too. Like you Oh, man. But imagine this, like, after you get with Diddy, anybody else is just, there's something wrong with them mentally. Like, he had a mental problem. Because after Diddy, she had a mental problem. I would say before Diddy, she had a mental problem. And he confirmed it because she was cheating on him anyway. So all whores got a mental problem. It's whole brain. All right. That's all I got for you, chat. Get the likes up. Send in your comments, questions, and concerns in regards to this. We're going to move on to the next clip. Let's see what we got here in the chat. Bring up some super chats. I've seen a few came in. All right, let's see. All right, we got Dane Snyder says, don't be fooled by the rocks that she got. She's still Jenny from the caulk. Used to have a little. Now she had a lot of caulk. No matter where she know where she came from the caulk. Yeah, my homie done took out all the block and just switched it out with the caulk, man. That's crazy. Yeah, she was hopping from wang to wang, man. That's crazy. We got Uncle Tiger in a building. He says, J-Lo's only hope at this point is to invest in Meow Mix stock. Yeah, man, she gonna be a cat lady, bro. But how old is J-Lo? Let's see. How old? Jennifer Lopez. How old? Let me see. Oh, she 57, man. She pushing 40, so I mean, she's washed up anyway. Like she washed. That listen, after Diddy, that poon never, the stench. You know it's off. You know the stench is off after all them Diddy parties. All right, let's see what else we got. We got Wicked Dreams. Says, first, it's J-Ho, not J-Lo. Second, if you date Diddy, then that's enough said. She suffers from cognitive dissonance. She has too many simps that she can't feel love because she is not loyal enough to find it. That is true. You speak in fact. She's definitely not loyal enough to find love. To even, I would say this, bro. Every dude that dated her after the first guy and definitely after Diddy, they loved her, but something was wrong with them too. If we just being honest, man, like we know that she crazy now. She was probably always crazy. Cause think about it. She started off working as a dancer for In Living Color. Bro, that's what the Wayne Bros, Jim Carrey, all of these, funny dudes, comedians, a few of them was clapping. Then she got married. The first husband admitted that she cheated on him multiple times and he found out. So think about it. He found out about one. She probably was cheating a whole lot more. So women that cheat, they got some mental issues. You got to go to church. You got to get them demons up out of you. All right, let's see what other chats we got. Okay, chat. So once again, tonight is open panel debate night. So how we do this here is, as I react to content, in between the content that I react to, you can come on up and debate. So once again, it's open panel debate night. The link to join is the first link in the YouTube description, or if you're in the comments, it's the link that's pinned in the YouTube comments. So come on up and join open panel debate night. And quick thing, when you do come up, be prepared to give me your name and what you want to debate about. All right, let's get to the next clip. Then we're going to get to the Dave Smith and Nick Fuentes interview. All right, let's see what the members sent me next. All right, here's the next clip. I debated this woman. She's psychotic too, which is crazy. But let's see what she says.
Do you hate men?
I don't hate men, but I think men hate themselves. No, seriously. When I speak of the male nature and y'all see y'allself in the mirror, because y'all have to do everything in y'all's power to put on the right hat, the right uniform, or the right personality to get the woman that you want. Y'all got to pretend to be something. But if y'all really showed y'all true colors and women see that, y'all know who y'all are. But when I show you who you are, you don't like what you see in the mirror. You got to cover that up with the good guy approach. With, I'm the nice guy. I'm not like all them other guys. All of y'all got this predatory beast inside of you that you got to tame. And because I can see it, and I call it out for what it is, I must hate men. No, baby. You hate what you see in it.
Okay, let's stop this real quick. She says that men have to change who they are, change how they speak, basically change their entire behavior, their personality to get women. This is coming from a woman that is a lesbian and puts on clothes of a man and tries to be more of something she's not in order to attract a woman. This is pure hypocrisy. Pure hypocrisy. If anyone knows who this individual is, she is a lesbian. Look at the hat that she wears, that she's trying to emulate a man. Look at the clothes, the garments that she puts on, right? This little sweat tracksuit. The Cuban chain around her neck. She's trying to emulate a man. Not only that, you are attracted to women. What are heterosexual men attracted to? Women. You are trying to emulate the man. You took on the same attractions of a man. So who really has the problem here? Is it men, or is she just projecting? I think it's the second one. I think that she's projecting right now. I debated this individual last year. She reached out to me, sent me an email, said, hey, I want to be on one of your open panel debate nights, but I want to do a 1v1. I said, okay, cool. We can go ahead and do that. I said, what do you want to debate about? She said patriarchy, matriarchy type stuff. She came on, and within her first few sentences, she started to contradict herself. She got mad and she rage quit. So she couldn't even last. And last year when she debated me, man, I wasn't even the debater I am today, right? I just started debating. I'm only like a year and a half in, right? So I cooked her back then. Now, listen, man, she would never come on my stream and debate me anyway, but she'll get roasted now. So think about everything she just said. It was just a lie. It was her projecting her view of herself and how she operates and how evil she is, right? And how she uses women and manipulates women and take advantage of women to satisfy her own desires. But for some reason, men are the weird ones because we have to, basically be the best versions of ourselves to attract a woman. At least a man, right? We are still a man. And yes, it's true what she's saying as far as, well, if a man wants to be desired by many women, well, he wants to become more attractive. He wants to get in the gym, work out. He needs to be able to have the skill of communication and being charismatic to make the woman feel the vibes and etc. You know how it is. So men, we need to become the best version of ourselves. But for her, she never actually became the best version of herself. Instead, she wanted to become the version of a man. That is not herself. That is the opposite of herself, which she's a woman. So, yeah, man, this is just stupid. Let's play a little bit more, see what else she says that's dumb.
In the mirror, you hate you. That ain't got nothing to do with me, right?
And look at the last line. Look in the mirror. You hate you. No, Princella, you look in the mirror. You know you hate yourself. Because if you loved yourself, you would actually dress like a woman. You would be who you are. You would be how God created you to be. God didn't create you to dress like a man and wear a hat and be attracted to the same sex. No, it's not what God wanted for you. That's not what God had in store for you. God had in store for you to be a woman, to dress like a woman, to act like a woman, to behave like a woman, and to be with a man, be under a man. But you don't want that, right? So this chick is just dumb. We got some people backstage. Make sure your cameras is on. First, let's bring up Wit Kid real quick. What's going on, brother?
Chill, man. You got to turn your microphone up.
Oh, microphone's too low? Got you, man.
Yeah.
Let me
Gotcha.
go ahead and do that. Did it just go low?
I don't know, but the clips have been louder compared to whenever you're talking, and I got a lot of people in chat saying that mic needs to be turned up.
Got you. Just turned it up now, brother. That should be
you good
Gucci.
there. There we go. We good now.
All right, man. Have a blessed one. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right, chat. Went ahead and turned my mic up. That should be good. I should have checked that before I went live, but I didn't. I thought it was. Actually, I did check it, but it must have went back down. All right, let's get to the next clip. Once again, anyone that wants to join Open Panel Debate Night, it will be the first link in the YouTube description, or click the link that's pinned in the YouTube comments, and I'll go ahead and start bringing people up. We got some people backstage, but there's no camera on, so not going to bring you up if you don't have your camera on. All right, let's get to the next clip. You know what? Let's go ahead and honor the stream clip first, which is going to be it's going to get to one of another membership clip, but let's get to the Dave Smith and Nick Fuentes interview. And I think I didn't even get a chance to look at it, so it's going to be my first time reviewing this, but it's not even a clip of the interview. It's a clip of a clip. So like a reaction channel made a clip to it. So I said, y'all want me to react to this? So I got y'all. 1 second here, chat. All right, here we go. Get the likes up. Don't be a ninja watcher. About to pull up this clip right now. All right. Okay, so here's a clip that we're going to be reacting to. Going to watch some of this. Maybe we won't get through the full 20 minutes, but we'll react to some of it. And maybe this would spark up a conversation that black fatigue is a PSYOP. And I'll go ahead and give you my perspectives on that stuff too. So we got Nick Fuentes. It says, shocks Dave Smith with raw truth about race and the West collapse. All right.
You saw this when Scott Adams had that comment a couple years ago, I guess it was, that went super viral. Scott Adams, who's unfortunately is, I think, very sick these days. Me and him have argued a few times on Twitter, but I was sad to hear that. But he said the thing, he was like, my advice to white people is just don't be around blacks. Like, just move away, move to a different neighborhood where they're not there. And I remember first hearing that and going like, yo, that's fucked up, dude. Yeah. And then like the second.
Well, real quick, if we're being honest, that has always been the case, even if you look at the demographics and, cities and different cities in different states. You got the suburbs where, the white folks live, or the, people with the finances to live in the suburbs. They live in more of the nice areas. Then you got the hoods, right? Which is the complete opposite of that. Is where the gangbangers are, the up and coming wannabe rappers are. It's where the gangs is. It's where the violence is. It's where the drugs is. Not to say that the drugs isn't in the suburbs too, but it's just a little bit, it's observed differently. White parents, if white parents have some kids in the suburbs, they're doing some drugs in their basement. They're not doing the drugs like outside on the street like it is in a hood, what you see in a ghetto. It's a difference there, right? But anyways, so he's saying that, well, white people, what you need to do is, move away from black people. Well, that's always been a thing. Always been a thing. Even black people, when they get more money, they move outside of the hood. Normally you got the impoverished areas where, it's minimum wage or a little bit above minimum wage that's living in, the ghettos, the projects or the areas outside of the projects and things like that. And then after that, and then beyond that, you have the folks in maybe the city and maybe the little high rises, the up living good. And then you got the suburbs where maybe you got to drive a little bit further to get to a store. There's no corner stores in the suburbs, right? So it's always like that. And it's like that in any country that you would go to. You would have the nice area where there's not a lot of crime and, people are living pretty good in the suburbs and stuff. And then you got the little ghettos. You got the ghettos where the crime happens and things like that happen. So it's not specifically to black people, but it's okay if they say, well, if you want to move away from black people, but it's also white ghettos as well. Like if you go down south and things like that, you'll see the white trailer park, right? The white people living in trailer parks and things like that. That's a difference than, white people living in the suburbs. And do you think that those white people living in the suburbs want to be hanging out in the trailer parks? Well, maybe they do want sometimes, but they know that the probability increases of them hanging around the trailer park white people, that crime is going to break out. They can be a victim of a violent act and things like that. So this is just common sense stuff, right? But you need someone to unpack these things in these type of conversations, because I don't really think these two guys are going to do it. They're going to stick on the whole race thing, which is fine. I don't care.
And after I went, oh, that's fucked up, I went, this is exactly what I did. That is exactly what I did. That's exactly what anyone does when they're making more money to get out of the hood. It's not necessarily a race thing, but from what we can observe different races, and we can observe, well, these people over here in these neighborhoods, it's like, even if you think about it, right? So you got, say if you're living in the suburbs and you always lived in a nice area, right? You grew up, white house, picket fence, nice car, and a little dog named Scooter. Well, there's a ghetto over here, but it's black people, and there's a ghetto over there, but it's white people. Who do you think you're going to be able to relate with more if you're a white person, that's always lived in the suburbs with the white house and a picket fence with the dog named Scooter? Well, you'll be able to relate with the white people that is in poverty rather than the black folks that's in poverty because of culture as well. There's a difference there, right? So obviously you're going to, if you had to choose, right, you'll choose to live with those folks. That's just kind of what it is, just to be honest, right? Even black people, right? If you always grew up in the suburbs, would you choose to live with the white trailer parks, or would you probably find more common ground and more common interests with the black folks? Even if you have nothing of interest, you still share the same color. Simple-minded people would think like that, at least, right? But let's continue on. Remember, me and my wife were looking at the town that we ultimately moved to, and it's just like there was like a grading thing, when you look at towns and they're like schools A+, like this A+, this A+, crime A+, this A+, and they go diversity D-, and I was like, cool. And it's not like I don't care, but it's like those other things are important to me, and they do seem to be attached to this one, and so it's like, I think in order to kind of put this fire out, there would have to be some type of system where it's like, look, like white people are they can't be discriminated against under the law, and they can't be discriminated against in other ways either. And they have to also be allowed to say what they want to say. And to your point, there are legitimate grievances that black people have. I mean, there is no, and this is my own bias.
Yeah, I don't care about black people's grievances in 2025. I do not care what black people have to say. We've suffered enough. I'm sorry. You guys were brought here on ships. I'm very sorry about that. You had to pick cotton 200 years ago. I'm so sorry about that. I don't care anymore, okay? I don't care about your grievances. Black people asking for reparations. Are you kidding me? What a joke. In 2025, you want reparations? Shut up. But guys,
So think about what he's saying. I do not care about black people grievances and all of these things, right? Black people that want reparations. Yeah, man, I had many reparation debates against other black people. So you're speaking with someone that there's biases and everything, but truly doesn't have any biases like he would have, right? So he says that, well, basically, I don't care about your grievances. I'm not really, having any empathy towards you grieving. Now, if you just rewind the clock back a little bit, black people always brung up these concerns. The black people that had the victim mindset and blamed many things, many of their circumstances on racism, on systematic racism and things like that. Now, let's be honest and truthful here. There was, there was in the past systematic racism. currently right now in 2025, and I would say within even the last maybe even 10, 20 years, there hasn't been any, and maybe even longer than that, right? There really hasn't been any systems in place to discriminate. Now, then maybe there was one. I could be missing one, but there hasn't really been any like true systems. So Black people used to grieve back then and complain, but back then, let's just rewind it back even 4 years ago. What would white people say? White people always had a voice. They would say, well, son, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Don't be a victim. You're just a victim. You're just a victim. That's the victim mentality. There's no laws holding you back. We have, my circumstances where I was raised could be different than yours, but you have the same opportunities that I have, which is true, which is what I tell Black people. You pretty much got the same opportunities what anyone has, besides if, their dad is the CEO of some organization, then nepotism would come into play. But who's to say that nepotism is actually a bad thing? One would have to argue that, right? But essentially what he's saying here, I don't care about Black people's grievances. Well, that's what you've never cared about it, because you always told Black people, generally speaking, white people always told Black people, pick yourself up by your own bootstraps. So they're speaking like it's new talk, like it's new think. This is not no new think, it's old, right? Now, what if a Black person just said this to you right now, where they're speaking about Black issues and, well, people in the hood and stuff, well, if you want to, avoid crime, don't live near Black people. Fair enough, right? But what if Black people said, I don't care about your grievances. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Don't be a victim. You see what I'm getting at here? It's a similar mindset, and it's creating this victimhood within white folks. Like, white folks, you're not a victim here, right? I would say that if we can just unpack this a little bit, it is true. Many people lost their jobs for using the N-word, where it was kind of silly. Like, you'll see a girl on TikTok or on a Instagram live, and she's rapping a hip hop song, and she says the words in a hip hop song, and she says the N-word, and then she loses her job. That's kind of wild, right? But Black people isn't really controlling these organizations to lose your job. This is the Democrat movement, the Democrat Party, that's ran by white liberals, right? So it's your own people that's like pushing this and funding this censorship around certain words. Black people don't got the money to fund this. Like, most Black people ever did was, make a little noise, scream, burn down a few buildings, which is crazy. I'm totally against all of that. But they didn't collectivize and bring their resources together to make an organization to fund some agenda to censor white people. No, this is your people. They're just white liberals that's doing it. Here's the PSYOP. Wake up. That's the PSYOP. You're just being PSYOPed right now. It's no new think. It's no new talk, right? This has always been around. White people never wanted to really live around the poor Black folks or the poor white folks. And the Black people that made some money, they normally moved out the hood. That's what happens. White people, if they were in trailer parks, when they got a little bit more money, what they do? They move outside of those white ghetto neighborhoods, outside of those white hoods, and into the suburbs. So that's just what happens. It's not really a race thing. It's a class thing, right? And even if you want to say, well, we can observe the races as far as the poverty, which in the poverty and the crime between the races, yeah, we know that if we're going to compare, we got to keep it no Fugazi. White crime and, little white trailer park crime homes versus Black poverty crime. So white poverty crime versus Black poverty crime. Black poverty crime is killing a white poverty crime. Just got to keep it no Fugazi there. And there's many reasons for it. But at the end of the day, whether if you have the finances, you're not going to choose to live around the Black folks or the white folks that's in poverty. You want to live around someone that's of your same class, right? It's not a race conversation. It's more of a class conversation.
Nick Fuentes talking to Dave Smith today, Dave's a Jewish comedian, good guy, nice guy, very critical of Israel. We love that. And he finally decided to talk to Nick Fuentes, which is a big deal in podcast world. And I got some clips picked out for you here. Right now they're talking about race and discrimination. Let's hear what Nick has to say. Let's get into it.
I guess, but much of it doing with government policy. Is almost everything that's handed to them from the state is absolute garbage, and their schools are really bad, and there's like legitimate grievances there. I also think like welfare has done enormous damage, but you kind of can't just blame all your problems on white people and racism. I mean, that actually is not really what's holding black people back in this country, and I think we have to be honest about.
True. Think about what he just said, but you got to be honest there. You really can't blame white people for all your problems and da-da-da-da. The same would be true for white people. Well, white people, yeah, you can bring up your grievances about things, but you really can't blame black people for all of your problems and stuff like that, because the majority of you don't even live around black people. The majority of you, you don't even have an experience, a genuine experience with a black man, or was even the majority of the people that are speaking on these things, right? I would say that they haven't even been a victim of any type of black crime or anything, right? Like, what's going on here? But let's continue on.
That if we don't want things to go in an ugly direction.
Yeah, well, and I would say that a lot of what occurred under wokeism, I don't think it was all bad necessarily, because I think that, as I get older, I do recognize it's sort of funny. Like when I was a teenager, we were getting called racist for everything. Everything was racist, everything. And I feel like a lot of people started out saying, how's that racist? I remember used to, like you said earlier, if you called them black and not African American,
right.
In like 2012, that was the problem. Or colored instead of person of color, whatever. And he'd say, I don't hate anybody for their race. I feel like people...
That is true. There were so many things around it. Like I remember growing up in school and someone said like color, like thinking I'm going to get offended. And I was like, oh no, another white person would say, no, you can't say that. Say like person of color. I'm like, like black people didn't care what you called us when it came to that. This was the Democrat Party funding propaganda, right? Funding this, doing this PSYOP agenda to create this white guilt. Like black people didn't have an organization to create this white guilt. If you look at BLM, like those was a bunch of fat, black, old lesbians where they were using those resources to fund themselves. They wasn't like really strategically trying to make some changes and PSYOP a group of people. Black people tend to not be that sinister. Like, right? Like usually when black people get some money, like, let me get a chain. Like, let me get my mom out the hood. Let me get myself out the hood and let me kind of live good. They may still do some little ratchet and ghetto things or speak a little ratchet and ghetto, but that's about the extent of what we've seen thus far within black history, right? The white liberals have that sinister nature where it's like, let's be strategic here and create some propaganda. We're going to go ahead and PSYOP everyone, right? And you know what? You can't say this about a black person. If I hear this, you're going to... And they did this to go against the Republicans, right? That's all it was. Like, we're going to scare the Republicans. We're going to make the conservative Republican group look evil. And if they use the N-word in a rap song, if they call the black person a wrong name or whatever, and it happens to be a video camera and something gets recorded, we're going to go ahead and fund this stuff to get those people canceled, right? So now you got Nick and Dave Smith. They're speaking from a sense where it's like it's like black people created this. No, we didn't even have no resources. We ain't even thinking this sinister. Like the Cha-Ching people thinks like this. The people that got the money, they are very strategic when they play the victim card. They play the victim card and they make you pay, right? Oh, anti-Semitic for everything, right? And they have the money in the organizations to fund certain agendas to, put consequences on you if you don't act or speak properly or favor them. Within America, black people never had that power or that money to do it. It's a PSYOP, right? So all my conservative white friends out there, don't be psyoped into this. Know where it's coming from. It's coming from the liberals, and the bulk of them are white. The ones that have the money to fund this type of censorship, to gain this control, to create this white guilt. Then it changed into it's seeming like it's changing into white victimhood on black people. Like, oh, well, now it's black people's fault. Like, nigga, what we do? We rocking chains still. We still looking for the new Jordans. Like, we ain't that sinister, right? Let's continue on.
Kind of gone full circle, and now 10 years later, people are like, they actually hate non-white people and go, yeah, I'm racist, so what? And I don't know, I feel like maybe that's a mistake in a...
That's true, right? There's a lot of black people, but that's always been a thing. It's always been they're like, oh, the parts of these little, sectors of the black community that maybe adopted like some 5%ers or some like what is it? The Louis Farrakhan type people where they call the white man the devil and things like that. That's been there for years, right? That's already been there, where you had some black people that, would look at all white people as evil and things like that. But you had the same side on the white side too, that they looked at black people as being evil and beneath them or whatever it may be. So this is true what he's saying, but it's still on the other side as well. And it's always been, it's nothing new.
Sense. I mean, I've said I'm racist, but like actually genuinely harboring racial hatred is bad. I think it's good as a society we move past that. I think it's good as a society we move past a lot of prejudice. And I think I agree that the new consensus just needs to be, just like you said, that basic conception of fairness, equality. And it really comes down to specificity with the language. Like everyone now talks about, are you racist? Are you not racist? I say, yeah, I'm a little racist. I think everyone's a little racist. Yeah.
This is true. Now, I would say that I have no racist bone in me. I'm different. I would say when he says everybody, no, that's not true, because I'm not racist at all. I have zero type of hatred for any race at all. That isn't me, but I do get what he's saying. Like, a lot of people have these prejudices. Like, a lot of people are prejudiced towards different groups. But, the people that are prejudiced solely based off of race, then that would be racist. That would be racist. So yeah, there's people like that, but I don't think that that's that everyone is like that, right? But I see what Nick is saying, but I wanted to clear that up.
We're all a little prejudiced, and we all believe in stereotypes. And what does that even really mean?
True.
But do I believe in cruelty, hatred, violence? No. And I usually like to use those words because anyone who knows me, the number one racist, knows I'm not a cruel person. I'm not a hateful person. I'm not a violent person. Unless I'm put in a self-defense situation at my front door, let's say, because that is,
That's where you need to be violent, though. But okay, let's continue on.
Tends to happen, and I think that as a country, we could survive being racist. We can't survive like ontologically hating each other and not wanting the best for each other.
Okay, so Nick is making a distinction from racist to hatred, and the general understanding of racist is hatred, though. That's how most people conceptualize that word and the meaning behind it. Like, racist is hate there. So he's trying to make a distinction now and say, well, I'm racist. I have prejudices. I'm prejudiced, of course. I have my own, I have stereotypes against, different groups and things like that. But I have no hatred for anyone. Okay, fair enough, Nick. But that's just a different word. Like, then you don't say that you are racist, because I watched other videos of you before, and you do believe in certain things where there's a hierarchy of race. I don't know. I've seen like small little clips, but maybe I got to interview Nick. Maybe I got to interview and ask him certain questions on it. But I'll be honest, I'm not even that interested in it. I'm only reacting to this clip is because the member sent it to me. But let's continue on. But he did make a clear distinction of racism and Hatred is something different. Let's continue on.
Wanting to kill and destroy each other. And that's why I think it's really important. It's like I said after that show, like, we are going to need to fight. I do believe there is going to need to be like an intense political battle, and people are going to need to choose what side they're going to be on. And what side I'm not on is the side where someone gets shot in the neck and you celebrate, or someone gets stabbed in the neck with a knife and you make excuses for it, or even in Gaza, people are being blown to smithereens and you say, give them hell, they deserve it, whatever. It's like, we need
These are facts. These are clear facts.
to find a way where, and I'm Christian, of course, but we need to take most of the right and some of the left, even, against the kind of nihilistic element on the far left, because I really believe they are the problem. I think they are driving a lot of the issues here.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of truth to that, and I do agree with you that there was something, you know, it was one of those examples that really pushes you up to the limit of like speech versus inciting violence. But like, there is something like dude, there was just a major political assassination. This is a dangerous moment for this country, and you're just making a video about how great it was, and I 100% agreed with your take. I think it was on Greenwald or Patrick Bet-David, one of those two shows.
And as you see, it's not a race thing; it's an ideology thing. What they're speaking about now is because on the left, the Democrats, the people, the woke mind, the woke mind virus individuals, those were the people that was celebrating after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Those were the people that was posting videos and saying, "I'm happy," and it was all different skin colors, right? So all different skin colors was celebrating after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So it has nothing to do with black. It has nothing to do with white. It has everything to do with the ideology. And what created this ideology? The PSYOP, right? The PSYOP, the Democrat movement, where they, you know, basically made the right wing, the conservatives, look evil. So think about it. If in their minds, well, this person was basically, you know, Hitler, so we celebrated when Hitler died, so this guy is Trump and Charlie is basically Hitler, so, you know, let's go ahead and celebrate for that too. So most of these individuals was PSYOP. So for my conservative brothers and sisters that's out there, I want you to be aware of the PSYOP and where it's coming from. The cha-ching and the left. It's coming from the cha-ching people and the left. And I don't mean cha-ching with the eyes. I mean cha-ching with the money, right? So they are excellent at creating propaganda around the victimhood, right? Around the marginalized people, around the minorities. That's what they do. So that's where it's coming from, and it's coming from the left. So be mindful of that. Don't be PSYOP with the whole black fatigue thing. The whole black fatigue thing, it's always the term was hijacked, right? And here's another thing. Let's speak on it real quick. To educate you individuals, the term woke was a black term. Black people use this woke term to say, well, you know, when we started learning more about our history and learning more about, well, wait, looking at Egypt and the pyramids, like, why is all of the hieroglyphics, I've totally bashed a word, the pictures on the wall, on the pyramids, is of black people? Why is the nose took off of most of these statues? But then when we do see a statue, like the ancient ones, prior to Alexander the Great soldier taking over Kemet and then renaming it Egypt, prior to all of that, you know, well, most of the statues had the big old fat African noses, right? So it's like, they try to erase our culture. Woke, I'm woke now. I know that, you know, basically, yes, those was black people that built the pyramids, right? So, but you still got some white people like, well, no, those was our Europeans that went ahead and did it. No, silly, you don't know history. History didn't start when you thought it started. No, that isn't true. But anyways, black people utilize this word woke to say when we get some new information, it woke me up. It could be about anything. It can even be about politics. Well, I got some new info. That's true. I'm woke. It woke me up. But then some propaganda was created and the term was hijacked. which terms get hijacked and, taken all the time. Fair enough, right? But the term of the word was switched, and it was to basically say that woke means LGBTQ plus. Woke means transgenderism. Woke means these weird ideologies and, maybe begging for reparations and all of these radical left ideas. That's what woke means now. So the right went ahead and took that term and flipped it flipped it from the black liberals and put it on the white and black and the full entire Democrat Party, right? Now let's move over to the term of black fatigue, because they're doing the same thing. Black fatigue was basically a term that black people used, and let me just go ahead and Google it, right? Give you guys the exact term. Black fatigue, meaning it was basically black fatigue refers to state of emotions and physical exhaustion experienced by black individuals due to the constant exposures to racism, discrimination. So this was basically like the victim mindset, right? Where the term came from, like black fatigue. I'm tired of all of this racism. I'm tired of all of this discrimination. Like that, this would be when black people speak this way, white people and black conservatives would say, listen, young man, no one's holding you back. You have every opportunity that a white man has. So go out there, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and do better. So when black people used to come with their grievances and speak about this true black fatigue of the real meaning, they were dismissed, right? And was called a victim. And you know what? I did the same. I still do it now when these black people join my stream. I'm like, bro, you got the victim mindset. You're never getting nowhere. Just get out of here, bro. And I obliterate these people in debates. But the thing is, I want white conservatives to be aware they're using the term black fatigue, and now it has a meaning where it's more loose. And it's like, well, black fatigue is when, black people they commit more crimes. They bring up all of these stats. They commit more violent crimes than white people per capita. Things that are true. They bring up, they say, ever since the white woman got killed on a train, wow, we now got the video. This probably was always happening, and we're tired of it. What is it doing? It's creating the victim mindset into the white conservatives as well, indirectly, because it's always been going on, bro. It's always been like this. So nothing is truly new here. It's no new think. There's no new speech besides changing the definitions of words. It's just another PSYOP. And I would say the same PSYOP, and I don't want these white conservatives to get PSYOPed into this to believe that, black people is the problem and they can't get anywhere in life because of a black man, right? Because then we got to go ahead and check y'all like, well, listen, man, you got the same opportunity as everyone. The same thing y'all told us. We going to have to tell y'all, you got the same opportunity in America that all these black people have. Most of y'all don't even live in these hoods anyway, so stop complaining. Most of y'all never even been around black people or experienced any or been a victim of any of these violent crimes, so stop complaining, right? You just reading some stats on the news, you seeing some stuff on TikTok, so now you complaining and you want to be a victim, right? Remember what the guy said in the beginning of the video, I don't care about black grievances. Black people is going to start saying the same thing, and they're already saying it. I don't care about white grievances. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? So it's the same thing, and it's creating that victimhood. Did this correlate for y'all? Give me some ones in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. Because if y'all don't understand, I'm going to say it again so you do understand. Give me ones in the chat if you understand. Let me know. All right, let's continue on.
Where you were just like, yeah, they should get fired from their job. And yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. There is a level, and yes, you do have to you have to work out your own hierarchy of moral outrages or whatever. But again, it's sometimes these things are somewhat arbitrary. I shouldn't even say, or I guess exactly where you draw the line feels kind of arbitrary. In the same way, we all know, okay, a 6-year-old can't drive a car, but a 25-year-old has to be able to. I don't know. There's somewhere you got to draw the line. And if a woman is getting fired for posting "All Lives Matter," that's insane. If you're getting fired for, it's I don't know. I had a friend of mine, a buddy of mine.
This is true. Let's go ahead and pull up this comment real quick. Someone's saying it. Someone is saying it. Fugazee calling out victims on both sides. Based. Yes, this is based. And the reason why I can see it, because, bro, I suffered from the victim mindset. Most black people have. We was influenced with all of this indoctrination in schools at a very young age, when we would read the history books, and the white man seemed so evil in the history books, because for us as a black person in history in America, we basically started off as slaves. They didn't teach us any black history before we were slaves. So we started off as slaves, which then in school, it creates this victim mindset within black people at a very young age. That's what it does. And also in some white people, it creates this, you think that you get this guilt. It creates this guilt within some white people, right? So for the black people, it creates the victim mindset, meaning you're blaming everything on a white man. And then for some white people, it creates this white guilt, where it's like you feel guilty for the things that, that your ancestors did. It's all a PSYOP. And as you get older, you're in middle school, you're in a 10th grade, you're a senior, you graduate, you're in college now, the indoctrination still continues. It still continued. So a lot of black people was indoctrinated to have this victim mindset, to blame their problems on white people. So I say it clearly because I had to overcome that state of mind. And since I had to overcome the state of mind, I can identify it when the propaganda is happening again. I can identify that state of mind within other people, right? I'm on X. I'm seeing it. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm seeing my white conservative brothers is like, I'm like, bro, you're being PSYOP right now. You can bring up these stats. It's true. Great. No one's saying that. But what did you say to us when we would bring up these things? You have the same opportunity that we have. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Don't blame the black man. Don't blame the white man. This is what black people are saying. Don't blame us, nigga. We ain't controlling things. It's the white liberals. We don't got no money backing us. We spend our money on chains and Jordans, and you try to blame us over here. Okay, yeah, we need to get the crime rate down. So now let's talk about some prescriptions, right? Well, the crime rate is up. Is because in most of these black communities, there's no fathers around, which conservatives are aware of. Conservatives are aware how important it is to for the father to be in a home, right? Because the father is the main. The fathers are the last defense, and they're the main disciplinarians. So they're the last defense. They're the first defense when it comes to their children being indoctrinated. Oh, what you watching on the TV? Turn that off. Oh, no, you're not hanging around with those people. You're not going there. Hey, come back home at this time. The father is the disciplinarian. The father is what creates order, what keeps out the negative influences from indoctrinating the kid. And since currently right now, like 70% of black homes are ran with single mother homes. Right? But currently right now, I think it's only like 17% of white homes are single mother homes. So white folks are still doing way better than us as far as fathers being in the home. But that's where a lot of these problems come from. We need to get the fathers back in the homes, and you would see the crime rates drop tremendously. So it isn't a skin thing. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. That's just an observation of the problem. Peel back the layer. It has to do with the ideology. Peel back the layer. It has to do with what influenced him to have that ideology, what indoctrinated him, which it comes from the cha-ching people that funded a lot of this stuff, right? Started it in Germany, been doing it over here in America. And also you got the white liberals. Feminism, trash, right? It's the white liberals. But anyways, I digress. Let me go ahead and continue reacting to more of this.
Who made he got fired from his job because he made a video singing Kanye West's Heil Hitler song. And it was like, well, yeah, dude, you know, like, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of employers are going to look at that and be like, yeah, dude, I can't have people doing that. And that's not nearly as bad as celebrating someone who just got murdered. By the way, I know you're friends with Kanye. Gotta say, dude, Kanye's album College Dropout spoke to my soul. It was the year I dropped out of college. He made this album College Dropout, and I always loved. There's this one.
Okay, I'm moving ahead here to 1 hour and 58 minutes in. I'm told there's a good segment here. Nick's take on the Charlie Kirk death. The left is getting desperate. So let's watch this.
Hammer goes out there after this, and he has the first opening. And the final thing he says in his opening is that he's disgusted to be sharing a stage with me. And I just thought there was something about that I was like, what a fucking snake you are. If it was the last communication I ever had with Charlie Kirk, was me texting him, what a fucking snake that guy was after all that. And then Charlie just said something diplomatic back. He was like, it was aggressive or something like that. But I just thought on like a dude level, and I guess maybe this is part of the reason why me and you always kind of had like a mutual respect and liked each other. There's just something where you're like, who does that?
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck does that? Like, you're so comfortable being duplicitous that you'd sit down. Like, if I was about to go on a show with you right now and do this and be like, I'm disgusted that you're across the table, I wouldn't have had that 20 minutes of nice chit chat with you outside. It would have been like, no, we're doing it like that. So
a lot of people be faking the industry. I came across meeting certain individuals where you'll meet them before a podcast. They're very friendly and things of that sort. They're bigging you up, and then once you get on the podcast, they basically are an entirely different person, and they're just doing it for the lights and the cameras. It's not authentic. It's very fugazi. So, yeah, what Dave Smith is saying is facts. We encounter a lot of individuals like that, but I would be honest here and say there's more of those individuals on the left, right? Now, I encounter some of those conservatives even have this behavior as well, but I experience more of it of the liberals, of the radical left, or just the Democrats themselves. They're snaky.
Anyway, I say all of that to just say, I don't trust that guy one little bit. I'm curious, what do you make of the new revelations or this dynamic with Charlie Kirk? It's a weird spot for you to be in, being such a rival and an antagonist of a person, and then they're killed in this horrible way. And so it's a weird spot. But what are your thoughts on this latest?
Well, I agree with how you said it, which is, look, I mean, if someone other than Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk, I'd of course be very interested in that, but I just don't see evidence for that. And people are trying to. It's like anything. In hindsight, you can look at every person's reaction in the crowd and say they're a decoy or an operative, whatever. There's really nothing hard or conclusive that proves anything other than that happened yet. And I'm open to possibilities. What is interesting, but a different conversation, maybe related, is the Israel thing. And I think very clearly, as you and Tucker and Candace and others and Max Blumenthal have said, there's ample evidence that at the minimum, there was something dynamic there. He was a pro-Israel guy for many years. Now, seems like that was in flux, and a lot of the evidence has kind of been knocked out. This Bill Ackman retreat, Bill Ackman produced the texts, and Charlie arranged the whole thing. And it was a forum where I'm sure disagreement was expressed, but it showed generally they were still aligned. More interesting was his interview with Megyn Kelly, where clearly he platformed Tucker and you, and it seemed that supporting Israel was in contention, which they hate that that's even on the table, because it matters how you set the table. It doesn't necessarily even matter what your position is, but they don't want that to be up for debate. Do we support Israel? Not a question they want people to ask.
Well, especially when you're losing the debate. That doesn't help either.
Yeah, especially when you get booed and killed in the debate. They don't like that.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, pretty much what he's saying here is he's making trying to form a distinction, a mental distinction that, was Charlie fully, actually moving away from Israel? It's kind of up for grabs. He spoke about the text messages, the ones that Candace Owens released. And then Turning Point, they responded and said that those text messages were in fact authentic. So, I mean, with the text messages, I seen the Megyn Kelly interview as well. With that, I would say that he definitely had a raising eyebrow. He had some questions, and he was starting to question some things in regards to how they were moving, right? Charlie was starting to question some things on how the Cha-Ching folks were moving, right? So, yeah, there's some validity there, but to say that, you know, they were involved with the assassination, yeah, that's far-fetched. I don't, honestly, I would agree with Nick on this one. I don't think that Israel was involved. I don't have any solid evidence yet to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, they were involved in it. But I mean, when you look at history, man, they was involved in JFK and everything else. But nevertheless, we don't really have anything solid. I don't put it past the radical left. I don't put it past that, you know, it was actually a shooter from the radical left, and he was tired of what Charlie Kirk was speaking about because it was antithetical to his beliefs and to his entire worldview. So he wanted to shut him up by assassinating him. We see that is the case. We see how the radical left and their ideologies they're in complete opposition to us over here on a conservative side. They are our adversaries. So they believe in different things. They worship different things. They think differently. They have an entirely different understanding of the world. Once again, they think men and women are equal and all of this other crap. So yeah, a lot of them are atheists. Even though on the conservative side, we got atheists too, but even within biblical scriptures, they think like that God was a feminist. Like Andrew Wilson actually debated the dude, when was it? I think it was last week, where this dude was a Christian, but he basically was saying, well, you know, God was a feminist. God was against, the way the conservatives are now. And, you know, God was, Jesus was basically for the poor and, you know, for open borders and all of this stupid liberal talk, meaning that they would just change. Well, it's not even change. I think that it's evil. It's demonic. So you read a scripture and the person who interprets it, they get an entirely different message from what was said. It's just evil. It's demonic. The devil is at play when that's happening. So that's all it is, if we're going to be honest about it. But okay, let's get through a little bit more of this. Before I do, though, let's get to the super chats. We got a lot of people in here. Get the likes up. Don't be a ninja watcher, man. I see y'all in here supporting, but support more. All right. So, and the thing is, you know, a lot of the white conservatives may disagree with my take. You can disagree with it. But this is why it's open panel debate night too. You can come on up. You may disagree with some of my takes because I'm only being honest here. And I'm giving a clear observation from what I'm witnessing in regards to the PSYOP that's happening. So if you have different takes, come on up. You're not a foe if you have a different take. You're still a friend. It's just a different opinion that you may have. And I do want to hear these different opinions, you know, because I want to make sure I'm on point. But I truly think I'm on point because I suffered from the victim mindset. I was a victim of it. Now I'm a victor. I don't look at things that way, right? All right, let's see what we got. Big Tone says, PSYOP used to divide and conquer. This is true. This is true. The PSYOP is used to divide and conquer. And a lot of folks are being PSYOP'd right now. We got What Kid Dream says, the biggest problem is people are using terms that used to have a meaning that they applying them to things that are not what the term is. Therefore, these words do not hold value and are meaningless. Well, with the whole woke thing, I get what you're saying with Kid Dreams, and I would agree. I would agree to an extent where, it's not meaningless because these terms, even though they may, the term is hijacked, like woke was hijacked, black fatigue was hijacked. Even if it's hijacked, another meaning is adopted. So it still has meaning, but what happens is it creates some confusion as well too. Because let's be clear, if there is something called black fatigue, there has always been something called white fatigue. Always, since America started, right? Don't matter what definition you use. You can use the definition that's on Google, that how black people, basically organized the term and gave it the meaning, like, okay, discrimination, racism, unfair justice system, all of this. That's what the term used to mean. Those are our grievances there for that term. Well, that's what the term meant for those grievances. But it also means the new term as well. So, yeah. Let's continue on. Let's see what else we got. Oh, with Kid Dreams, you just came back. Maybe you want to clear up what you said. Let me bring it back up. Or maybe you want to expound on your point.
Pretty much.
What's going on, man?
Chill, man. So I didn't mean that it doesn't have a meaning to the word. What I mean is it takes away from what the meaning of the word originally meant and kind of takes away the focus of what it should be and takes it to something else that is completely not even relevant. Like you were saying with the term woke. Woke originally was a black term, which they used to actually see what is actually going on, as you could see what was going on.
Yep.
Now it's more of just like calling a person woke because they did something you didn't like. It takes away the actual meaning of the word, and it takes away, I guess, the validity behind it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yep. Yeah, no, that's true, man. We're in weird times right now. Very weird times because, things are changing, and it's not just changing out of nowhere. Like it's very strategic on how things are changing. Even when it comes to Nick, if you look at Nick just a year ago, he's speaking now, not in an entirely different way, but he's expounding on his points to be a little bit more inclusive, if we're being honest. He's doing it to be a little bit more inclusive. And it's not to say that he didn't do that before, but he's doing it a little bit more now. But that's okay, because we even seen that with Andrew Tate as well. You've seen the stuff with Andrew Tate where, he was wilding, saying mad crazy stuff. But after he went to jail, when he came out, we seen him kind of tone it down a little bit. But now he's back again. He's wilding again since Elon let him back on
But
Max.
I think it's just because they have more influence, so they need to be more careful about what they say. I think that's the only reason why they're doing that.
I agree.
I think it's still the same person. They're just more strategic in the words that they choose, which again brings up my point of you have to be specific because words have meanings. Words have definitions. Once you start changing words, that's how you think a man can become a woman. That's how you think all this crazy stuff that's going on right now because you're changing the definition of the word.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying, man. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it. Just kind of wanted to clarify that a little bit.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man. Have a blessed one. All right, let's play this a little bit more. Shout outs to Wit Kid, always supporting.
That either. And so even that, they were really pushing back on Charlie, threatening. I guess the new revelation is they took the money. They took the $2 million. It's a pretty big organization, but that's not a negligible chunk of change for Charlie and Turning Point USA. And he goes in the group chat, and assuming, like you said, that it's authentic, that is, I think, the most stark thing we've heard from him on the record, where he says, I have to leave the Israel camp. And I would say that's even different than what he said on Megyn Kelly. Because on Megyn Kelly, he said, oh, you're going to call me an anti-Semite? He sort of stopped himself. He said, well, you're going to lose me. That's what he was going towards.
Yeah,
you're not going to lose me. He goes, but I'm going to be deflated. In that text, he says, I'm out. And I would characterize that is I was his right.
And you see, you listen, man, when money is behind things, bro, it makes you want to, like, you know, you conform. You start conforming when people send you money, because it came out, he was being funded by, you know, by Israel, by AIPAC and stuff, right? So he was being funded by these Israel donors and things like that, Israeli donors. And, you know, he's having his own grievances, his own different perspectives about how they're handling the war and etc. And this is why he said, like, you know, what Nick just said, like, if you keep going, then, you know, you're going to lose me. And then he's saying, well, you're not going to lose me, because it's like, well, you're not going to lose me because then I'm going to lose all that money that you've been giving me. So I'm not really trying to go nowhere. So listen, man, over here on No Fugazi, we never took a cent to change up anything. I never took any money to change up the way I speak. I never took any money to, which I had many opportunities. You don't see any sponsorships on my channel, bro, because I turned most of them down because I didn't want them. I didn't believe in the product. Like, if I don't believe in the product, then why would I sponsor it on my platform if I don't believe in the product? Right? I just don't believe in the product. I'm not going to do it. Right? Even when it came, well, it was contract signed, so I can't say the specific products, but I did have certain sponsorships. I used the product. It seemed like it was okay, was using it, and it didn't work good. So then I canceled the sponsorship. I said, I don't want to work with you guys no more. I'm not going to be sponsoring something, and one of my supporters, one of my members is going to see that I'm sponsoring it. They're going to use the product and it's not a good product. Like, no, I don't want it. I'm not, we have no deal anymore. But some people would see that the product is trash. They got the sponsorship, they're getting this money, and, you know, where the money is coming from is not of anything good. But since they're getting the money, well, it's good to them. So they continue to sponsor it. They continue to be a voice to back whatever agenda or product or company it is. And that is Fugazi. That is not no Fugazi. Fugazi. All right? So, let's continue on.
Rival, and I'm very cynical about him. He was kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. He was really in the middle because, like you said, it's young people. They are Israel critical, and he had to go and defend the bullshit to them at the campus, in the arena, in the pit. You know, so it's easy for them in the ivory tower to say, yeah, we love Israel still. He's actually having to get the shit, and 100 Groypers on the line saying, why do you still love Israel? And I think that he recognized it became a liability and started to try and accommodate everybody, Tucker and the other side, Candace and the other side, the Groypers, so to speak, or the Dave Smith people and the other side. And the other side wasn't having it. They said, you better get the fucking line or we're pulling the plug. And I think he defiantly said, I will not be bullied. I thought it would have been interesting to see where that would have went, but sadly we'll never know.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Sadly,
and I've always, I kind of took, I took.
Okay, chat. Let me go ahead and stop sharing this. Let me get to these super chats. I think that was pretty much like the end of the bulk of the meat of the conversation, what we wanted to get into tonight as far as for that clip. We got more clips to react to. It's still open panel debate night, so anyone that wants to join the stream, go ahead and click the first link in the YouTube description. I will bring you on up. And once again, I don't care if no one joins the stream tonight because I'm feeling a little under the weather. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah. Okay, so for the super chats, these ones I can't bring up on the screen. I got to read it from my phone because I didn't catch it when it first came up. So we got Lord Giatron. He joined the membership for 18 months. Give you a no Fugazi for that one, man. He says, for real, these modern females need to just buy themselves a Jay Prince type of dude. A high value man is most definitely not settling for these type of females. Facts, Lord Giatron. These are facts. And Lord Giatron, he sent this in when I was reacting to J-Lo and then also reacting to Princella. We got Dane Snyder sends in $5. He says, J-Lo will be like Cher. She'll keep pulling the young betas when she's 80. A new crop of new beta males reach the age of majority every year. This is true. We got BJ joins the gang. Welcome to the membership, man. You're gonna like it here.
No Fugazi. Fugazi.
We got Tygus sends in $10. He says, Cooley, if you could secure an interview with Nick Fuentes, it would go down in internet history. Yeah, you know what? I never reached out. The thing is, I'm not big on Twitter, right? And when it comes to the conservatives, they be on Twitter. So I really need to step my Twitter game up. Like, I have access to so many other people, bro, like A-list celebrities that you will be seeing soon, that I'm going to do some interviews and stuff like that. I'm going to have some people on a dating and relationship shows too. It's going to be pretty dope. But, as far as the political sphere, and those conservatives, I'm only at like 1,700 followers on X, so I'm not really taken seriously. So I need to step my X up, which I would say everybody that's on X, follow me on X. The link is in the YouTube description. Give me a follow. We got Wicked Dreams. He sends in $10. He says, the biggest problem is people are using terms. Okay, I read that one. We got Lord Geotron again, sends in $10. He says, Cooley, that was real talk. My guys offered you some money and you shut it down. I gained so much respect for you. Salute to you. No Fugazi. Yeah, man. I was offered bread, man. It happened a few times. And I didn't speak about it in detail, but when Trump was running for office, this was last year, kind of around this time, but before, this was like last year in the summer when Kamala was running, the liberals, like part of someone from Kamala Harris team reached out to me, and I got the email. I got all of the receipts, bro. They was trying to pay me thousands of dollars for me to do a video on my TikTok. Cause I got a TikTok with me and my girl that got like almost 2 million followers. And we had many videos that went viral in the past or whatever, but they reached out to me and they said, hey, we just want like a 1 minute video, not supporting Kamala Harris, but we want it bashing Donald Trump. So basically, if you're bashing Donald Trump, then you are in support of Kamala Harris, right? So it was kind of more like an indirect support for Kamala Harris. So I turned that down. It was thousands of dollars. I mean, I'm not going to give the figure, but it was thousands, like tens of thousands. I'm not talking about five, I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars. Turned that down. I'm like, wait, this is crazy how they really reaching out to these content creators, right? Now, obviously, they wouldn't have reached out if they would have known that I had this podcast. Because at this time, my podcast was maybe at, I was at like 200. Yeah, I was at like 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. I wasn't really speaking political as much. But last year, no, I still was. I was doing debates and I was speaking political. No, I was. But my TikTok is like family oriented with my shorty, and we do a lot of sponsorships for her as far as different clothing brands and things like that. All things that I approve of. But yeah, so that's that. So they basically wanted me to support Kamala Harris, bro. It's crazy. Turned that down. Had mad sponsorships for mad companies for weed reach out to me. Turned those down. Of course, I don't even smoke. I don't even know how to smoke. I've never smoked a day in my life. Alcoholic beverages reached out to me as well. Turned that down. Not supporting anything like that. I don't drink at all. So yeah, I turned down a lot of things that it just doesn't, it's not me. Right. So that's the thing. But, and this is what I want you guys to do too, man. So like, you got to stand 10 toes down on your principles. Like, who are you if you're just, collapse for a couple dollars? You a hoe. You a hoe. You are a hoe if you're going to sell your soul and give up your values and your morals and your principles for money. That's what hoes do. That's why we call them hoes. That's what hoes do. $500, you can have all of this. Hoes give up their body to another man for cash, right? Men, all we got is our word. All we got is our principles. Our body ain't for sale like women, like the woman's body is, right? We got our what we stand on, what we say, our principles, our values. That's what we got. So if we give that up for some money, you are a hoe. That's the only time a man is a hoe, because usually men are hoe makers. All right. I think that's it for the super chats. Nope, we got one that just came in. We got Wicked Dreams and $10. He says, use this to get yourself some Mucinex. Outworks the best when you are sick. I mean, under the weather. Yeah, man, I ain't sick. Only women and children get sick. Grown men that are masculine, we just get under the weather. So don't ever say you sick, bro. That's gay. That's gay. We don't do that. Appreciate you, Wicked. I'm gonna be honest. I actually don't take medicine. Right? I don't take painkillers. Not gonna take the Mucinex. Real men, this could be a little funny too. Don't troll me. Man, real niggas don't take no, you take medicine, nigga? Listen, man, imagine if we all in a group, we get sick, and you taking some medicine. Oh, this nigga's a hoe. This nigga's a female. You taking Tylenol, nigga? You got a headache? What? You can't overcome that headache? Like, we gonna make jokes on you for days. So I'm just part of that cloth. Like, I'm part of that, like, that era where it's like, listen, you get sick, your immune system, you build up your immune system. So don't take no medicine. Don't take all of these pills. You can now, obviously, if you get like real sick and you need like antibiotic or something like that, then yeah, take that. But for a little cold, you don't need to be taking no medicine, bro. You'll give it a few days. Your immune system will kick in and you'll defeat it. You'll come out victorious. We got Dane Snyder in here. He sends in $20. Appreciate the support, man. He says, headed to bed, so can't cam up. All right, man. I have a great articulation you can use. Fatigue is the same dynamic and mechanism for the white as BLM was/is for blacks. Okay. Is propaganda to manipulate the masses according to race. Okay, I like that one. We got Dane Snyder again, says in $5. He says, look, don't be saying you have a tang in your throat. Pause. Yeah. I was supposed to say pause. My bad, brother. My bad. Okay, chat. Let's get to what else we got. We got 300 people in here. Get the likes up. How many likes we at? I've been streaming for almost 2 hours. You know what? We got nobody backstage for open panel debate night. We about to close out. I gave y'all 2 hours today. I think it was good clips that we reacted to that was educational, that you can go back to, and it gives a different perspective to things. So I think I'm the first person that came out with this perspective when it comes to black fatigue and the correlation that it has with the victim mindset and with what the radical left and the propaganda that they're pushing to indoctrinate the mind. So I think that, it was a pretty good discussion tonight. So without further ado, this podcast is No Fugazi. Hit the like before you go. I'm going to go ahead and eat and get some rest. But other than that, folks, peace.
No Fugazi.
And y'all see the suit too, man. Listen, new studio, new podcast by the spirit, not by the letter. Bro, we can go verse for verse all day long. Doing new things are okay with understanding the reality that we are in competition with one another. But you ladies think that you're special. We are in comfort. Men are men of their word. So here's my word. I'll fly you out here. We can do it in person. And after that, we can box. I'm about my business. So remember I said, When I ask you these questions, I will dismantle your entire argument. That's the end of the debate, my dog.
I'm 39, but I don't look your typical 39.
Belly,
Yeah.
you look 39. It's okay,
Shut
though. That man isn't intimidated by a woman like you. He's annoyed by a woman like you. Because a man doesn't want to date another man. He wants to date a woman.